Hey, how y'all doing? I was in these YouTube streets and I came across a very interesting video. You know, everybody always complain about feminism in Western society and Western culture, but it looked like feminism is making its way to Eastern culture, and all of the chaos that the United States is dealing with, it looked like China is right behind us.
I don't want a bride price. I can even offer 200,000 yuan as a dowry. It's probably a common issue for older single women, right?
Do you have to get married?
I definitely want to get married. I was born in 1996 and I already have a car and house. My parents both work in the government.
What if his family's quite ordinary? Is that okay?
It's fine to find somebody from an ordinary family because I come from one myself. After all, I already have a car and a house, so I'm not too concerned about what the man has to give me. I believe in the idea that life is best when it's enough but not excessive. Contentment is better than perfection.
Do you think you're easy to chase?
As long as he's sincere and doesn't deceive me, I think I'm actually quite easy to chase.
Would you want to join our singles group?
Sure.
Wow. So she's 28 years old and she's saying she got a house, car, and he don't even got to pay a dowry price. That's how desperate these women get in Asia. Once they start getting 27, 28, hey man, I pay you to marry me. That's crazy. Now, that is not like what the United States women do, but let's watch more of the video and let's see what we get into.
This 29-year-old woman from Nanjing is strikingly beautiful, almost like a star. Her views on marriage are also unique. She doesn't want a house, a car, or a bride price, and she's been praised all over the internet. Once a woman reaches 28 and isn't married, friends and family often pressure her to get married, and this pressure can be overwhelming. This anxiety about marriage leads some to lower their standards. Recently, in Inner Mongolia, a woman in her late 20s completely broke down while looking for a partner. Despite having savings of over 10 million yuan, a car, and a house, she was ignored by everyone. This wealthy woman openly sought a husband online. She owns a distillery, runs it well, and has set up a social media incubation base in Inner Mongolia with multiple accounts operating successfully. In other words, all her main businesses are thriving.
Just to give y'all some information, 10 million yuan or whatever, if you want to do the calculations, I think the average income or a good income would be like 1200 USD a month, just to put things in perspective for you.
我才以身作反面教材分享我的错误。
I'm a complete failure as an older single woman, and I'm the opposite of success. Ladies, don't be like me. I'm the worst lesson to learn from. She spoke earnestly, deeply regretting not marrying earlier. She revealed that when she was young, her father passed away after being seriously ill, leaving behind more than 300,000 yuan in debt. To pay it off, she worked relentlessly, hoping to pay off the debt and then find a partner. Unfortunately, several years passed. She made money through animal husbandry, but still couldn't find anyone to marry. She admitted that she went on over 10 blind dates, but none were satisfactory.
If you go on 10 blind dates and none satisfactory, that means you're the problem. I don't care what nobody says. If you go on 10 dates and none were satisfactory, it did not work out, you are 1,000% the problem. You said you had to work to pay off 300,000 yuan of your father's debt, and you still out here trying to be picky, man. You need to be trying to recoup your money instead of thinking about whatever your standards are. These females will never learn, bro. Feminism is 0 and 99. It's never going to get you what you want. It's never going to get you where you want to be. And here's another example of a female who got all these accomplishments, all this money, all these things going for her, and she by herself venting online after 10 days.
Factory. In short, this 35-year-old influencer wanted to find an exceptional man, someone who could earn money, be gentle and caring, and provide emotional support.
Baby, you can't give him no kids. 35? 35?
During holidays. Now she feels completely defeated and plans to marry a divorced man with children. As long as she can have her own child, she's willing to accept it.
现在北京真的是进入女追男的时代了。
Beijing has truly entered an era where women are pursuing men. Many good-looking and capable guys have already been snapped up early, and the remaining high-quality ones who are still single have already caught the eye of women with sharp perspectives.
Well, you know what? One thing I can say is at least these females, they starting to understand, like, look, we got to compete. I think this whole progressive mindset that they have, honestly, it seemed like it's going to circumvent really quickly over there, because these females are starting to understand like they're not really getting what they want.
More women are realizing that if they just wait for someone to pursue them, they may not even find a reliable partner. Have you ever felt this way? If you're a step late, even those with normal conditions might slip through your grasp. Ms. Zhang, a 33-year-old woman living in Beijing, has had a few relationships, but she hasn't found a marriage partner that she truly likes. If she didn't mention her age, it would be hard to believe she's over 30. Now she's in a hurry to get married, and she's even willing to pay for the wedding herself.
大领是女卷起来了。
The competition among older single women has intensified. At 33, with a master's degree, intelligence, and good looks, I'm considered a high-quality older single woman. Now,
Baby, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. No such thing. Nobody is out here like, oh man, let me go look for an older woman. It don't exist. People don't do that. Let me tell you something. The only way a guy is looking for an older woman is because he might want somebody that's a little bit more either blunt and direct what they want or desperate. One of them two things. But nobody out here like, oh man, I could really go for a woman that's over the hill.
Now, I don't want a house, a car, or a bride price. In fact, I can even lend the man 30,000 yuan as a bride price. I don't need the traditional 3 gold items or 5 gifts. And I don't care if he has abs. I heard that once a woman turns 35, no one wants her anymore. So I'm really anxious. By the way, now getting married and registering for a marriage certificate is completely free. You don't even need the 9 yuan processing fee. So what's there to hesitate about?
Bro, did you hear all of that? She like, yo, hurry up. Let's get the ball rolling. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, bro. Asian men, they really do not like dating women once they get to like that 30-ish. Honestly, I think these women would be better off dating black men. I'm not even talking about black Americans. They gotta be black Americans. African men will marry you. African men will marry just about anybody.
However, for most older single women, when they can't find a partner they like, they choose to stay single and don't see it as a problem. Economic independence drives the attitude that it's better to stay single than settle. They view it as a lifestyle choice and an expression of personal freedom. Let's take a look at what this 37-year-old single woman has to say.
最近在跟我的好朋友们在一起聊天的时候，
Some people compare older single women to unsold vegetables at dusk, giving themselves an excuse for staying single. In reality, they're more anxious than anyone else. Recently, when chatting with my good friends, including a few highly qualified single women, we've all been troubled by a question. Are we asking too much? Should we lower our standards in order to find someone? I've met a few men who were interested in me, and after having a coffee or chatting a few times, they'd tell me heartfelt things like, "You're really a great woman, and I enjoy talking to you. You really understand everything, but sometimes I get intimidated because it seems like you know everything. I feel like I can't fool you." This was the first time I heard such words, and I was completely confused.
That is not necessarily true. For me, I feel like that is complete cap. Let me give you a translation. Really, it means I have ideologies and beliefs of my own that I want to instill inside of you. But I can't do that because your mind is probably made up. The way you are as an individual, the way you are as a person, it's already made up of who you want to be, who you are now, what your future hold, and what you've been through. So if you already got a glass that's full of water, how can I pour into you? That's basically what it is. But a lot of times men don't want to say all that. It's easy for us to just put it on you and try not to do any damage to your ego and leave at the same time.
Aren't women supposed to be more experienced, more knowledgeable, and have higher standards? They even hope that we would spend less energy on our careers and focus more on the family, hoping we would be more obedient. We were puzzled. Would being independent both financially and emotionally scare men away? I thought long and hard about this question, trying to find the reason I was still single. Later, I realized something. Should I pretend to be naive just to find a boyfriend? Should I act clueless no matter what happens? Or should I always pretend I don't know things?
Yes! Let your man lead. Let him be the man. Let him be the captain of the ship. It don't matter if you know more than him, if you smarter than him and all of that. You're not there to teach him. You're there to teach your children. The job is to make his children smarter than him, not to correct him. He don't need you to correct him. He got in that position himself by being the man he is, not by being led by a female. Women don't understand that. Yes, be clueless. Let that man be who he is, man.
One day, when people question whether your efforts are worth it or whether your independence is acceptable, I hope that you can have things they envy but can't get. You can turn around and tell them, I'm just brave enough to live differently from everyone else. The common problem with older single women who can't get married is that they usually have very high standards. Even if they like someone, they still act aloof, expecting the other person to pursue them. But the men they meet through blind dates are already looking to get married and have seen through their games of playing hard to get. They lose patience quickly and won't put much effort into pursuing someone. After getting to know each other for a while, if they feel it's not a good match, they'll move on to the next one immediately.
作为一个38岁的大龄剩女，
As a 38-year-old older single woman, I can honestly tell everyone that we're not against marriage, and we do want to get married. We just don't want to marry someone we're not interested in.
Baby, if you 38 and you single, that is 1,000% your own fault. There is no way you've doubled the age of 18. That means you've been alive long enough to turn 18 twice. There is no way you doubled that age and you still haven't found nobody that's interesting or valuable enough for you. At this point, what you're doing is deliberate. You want to be single, you're going to stay single. That's just who you is. That's ridiculous. And you know what, man? These women, after watching these videos, bro, everybody always talk about what a powerhouse China is, what a powerhouse Asia is. And I'm sorry to break it to you. If y'all having these kind of issues implosively like the United States, man, y'all actually in a worse position than what we are. And the reason why that is because we can have as many children as we want. Y'all have damaged your society not only by limiting the amount of children you can have, y'all have more men than women, and the women that y'all got, the men don't want. That's crazy. And I don't know what the hell China gonna do, man. You know, I was really thinking that China was eventually gonna pass up the U.S. economically, but everybody always talk about how China produces all these things for the United States and how they make everything for us. But let me tell y'all something. If the United States goes down, China's gonna go down with it. We're their biggest consumer. That's like, imagine somebody owning a restaurant, right? And you might serve all of these people. Let's say you make $2,000 during lunch hour. The person that gives you $800 of your $2,000, the person that gives you $800, imagine your relationship with that person dissolves. If your relationship with that person dissolves and now you're only making $1,200 during that lunch hour, you know what that means? People gonna start losing their job. Wages are gonna start going down. You're gonna have to cut off your overhead a little bit to compensate for the amount of money that your restaurant is no longer generating. And that's how I feel about Asia. You cut out the United States, you done. Because who else are you going to be able to sell all your products to at the same clip of what the United States buys? And now you got interior issues with the family, the same way that the United States does. All this is going to do is make your birth rate even lower than what it already is. And a problem with that being in Asia is that in America, we have a melting pot, okay? People can have as many children as they want with whoever they want. Y'all, the issues y'all dealing with the children, I didn't even talk about this, but their college students are actually dealing with trying to keep up with the finances of the country. Yes, China generating the most billionaire, but you know, the same problem they're having is that the wealth gap is getting larger between the rich and the poor. You know, like China, they build a lot of things and stuff like that, but the wages there are terrible. They don't really pay those children. They have whole videos and clips of these young people talking about how these corporations take advantage of them. And just because they're in college, they're barely making any funds. And people don't want to date. You got people that streaming now people doing everything online. Like, I don't think China is in the best predicament. And this video is just more proof of that. But anyways, I'm going to make sure I put the full link to this video at the bottom somewhere on my video, somewhere in the screen or the comments. That way you can actually watch the full thing. If you like my commentary, if you want to watch more of these videos, let me know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we out.